Cameron, leaving SiriusXM, just wrapped up that long-awaited Max B interview, and the second it dropped, the streets lit up. Max B had New York overflowing with his wave, and Jimmy out here pretending he doesn't notice the water climbing up his doorstep.
You see the water rising.
Me and these niggas go back like 40 years.
When you hear that, you definitely need to come home. What's the energy? Because I'm going to keep it 100. Yo, Killer, I got to talk to the governor in Jersey.
Yeah,
once I speak to the mayor and these brothers we got coming up.
It was, like I said, you just got to switch the mindset.
Max B coming home. Where we at with that? Are you able to get past that?
No.
Max B stepped out those prison gates and the whole city felt it, but Jim Jones couldn't even hide how salty he was. He hopped online calling the celebration dumb and trying to label Max B a failure, which is wild because didn't Jim cheer?
They caught a op now looking shit, now we gotta snip down. Look at that. Half these niggas broke their
When Mel hit the streets again, the whole vibe shifted, loudly, and people were already whispering. But things took a crazier turn when Max B sat down with Cameron and Mace, and Cam flat out said Jim Jones is still scared of Max all these years later. So now we gotta peel back every layer. What's really going on with Jimmy's behavior, and why Max B stepping back into freedom is shaking the ground he stands on?
It's shaking his whole foundation.
There was a bitch, her name was Cindy and Mindy. I wasn't sure if I was too tipsy off the river, playing big in the bank. Give me cream, my dick was a buck, my mouth was the ATM machine. Had the sparkle low in my ear, low, nibble on the little nipples and blowing on the toes.
Max B, Max Bigavelli, is one of those artists where the deeper you look, the more you realize he shaped an entire era of New York rap without ever getting the shine he earned. His real name is Charlie Wingate, Harlem born and raised, and he came up in the early to mid 2000s as part of Jim Jones's Bird Gang. But here's the twist. Max wasn't another crew member, not even close. He brought this raw, melodic, half-sung style nobody else was touching at the time. That airy, drifting New York sound artists like A$AP Rocky later turned mainstream. Max was blueprinting that wave long before the city caught on. Even the folks who didn't mess with him had to admit he brought something brand new.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, Max B really inspired my whole rapping career too. I feel like, not rapping career, but you see the way I'm making melodies.
Yeah.
He was a big part of that, because before I started rapping, I was singing Max B all the time.
He was flooding the streets with tapes. $1 Million Baby, the Public Domain series, Coke Wave with French Montana, and each one became a cult classic. Even without industry backing, he was the rapper other rappers quietly studied. But in 2006, right when his buzz was turning into real momentum, everything flipped upside down. Max got pulled into a robbery situation that would derail his entire trajectory. Here's how that night unfolded. On September 22nd, 2006, Max's ex-girlfriend Gina Conway told him about a guy she'd just met, Alan J. Plowden, who was flashing big money. Instead of brushing it off and focusing on music, Max chose it as his next move. He sent his stepbrother, Kelvin Liu, to rob the guy, with Gina riding shotgun. They rolled up to Plowden's room at a Holiday Inn in Fort Lee, ready to snatch the bag. Gina knocked, and another woman, Giselle Neves, opened the door. She said Plowden was asleep. Kelvin immediately pulled out a gun and held her at gunpoint while Gina duct-taped her. Chaos erupted. They tore the room apart looking for the cash, but found nothing. So they woke Plowden, taped him to, and pressed him about the money. He insisted there was nothing there, so Kelvin forced him to call his partner, David Taylor, to bring the money over. But when Taylor walked in, he didn't freeze. He started fighting Kelvin. The struggle got wild, the gun went off, and Taylor was shot and killed instantly. After that, Gina grabbed Giselle's purse and took the $800 from Taylor's pockets while Kelvin snatched his watch. That's what they threw their futures away for, a few dollars and a watch. It made everything that followed even more tragic. When they fled, Plowden told hotel staff what happened, and when police stormed the room, they caught him trying to stash $30,000. He literally ended up getting hit with charges of his own because he was still moving the money around. Days later, Gina was arrested and immediately gave detectives every detail: Max, Kelvin, the plan, all of it. Max and Kelvin were arrested soon after, and Max was hit with a $2 million bail.
Let his kids go. Where's daughter?
By 2009, Gina took a plea on manslaughter and armed robbery and agreed to testify, facing up to 18 years. In May 2009, Max and Kelvin's trial began. On June 9th, both were convicted on 9 of 11 charges, including felony murder. Max got a 75-year sentence. Kelvin got life plus 35 years. The next day, Gina was sentenced to 15 years. Max appealed in 2012, but it was denied, locking in that 75-year stretch. Then, in 2016, everything flipped again. Max's conviction was tossed because it turned out his original lawyer had a major conflict of interest.
I would never work for that cornball ass again. Me? I'm a boss. I'm not with that. It's never nothing no more. Like, I look like a boss, I feel like a boss, I taste like a boss. Max Bigger Val. Get out of here, man. So Jim Jones. Compare the names. Look, Max Bigger Val. Jim Jones. God, don't even add up. They're not they're not on my level, man.
His sentence was dropped to 20 years after he pleaded guilty to aggravated manslaughter, completely shifting his future. Fast forward to November, Max finally walked out of prison after nearly 16 years. Friends and family pulled up to welcome him, including French Montana, who posted a video greeting him outside the gates with the caption, "Can't make this up. My brother really came home on my B-Day. Ha-han, no more free you." It blew up the internet instantly. Now, let's dive straight into the messy part. Max B versus Jim Jones.
Like, for instance, I'm gonna keep it tall. That's kind of how I missed out on Max B. I'm just being straight up honest. And Jim ended up signing him because Jim seen the vision, because Jim had an outside vision of Max. I grew up with Max. Charlie Rambo, play all day, joking all the time. So when he came to me and said he's gonna start rapping, I was like, yo, Charlie, stop playing. His exact words was killing him. Like, no, let's get this clicking like Dorothy's heels.
Max B, he wasn't Max B, his name was Charlie Rambo. He got out of jail, he come up to me. This is word for word. So I'm like, Charlie, what on? You guys say, yo, Flea, I just came home. I said, you always just come. He said, yo, Flea, you know how to rap now, let's get this clicking like Dorothy's heels.
When Max first linked with Bird Gang and Dipset, he wasn't just hanging around. He was doing heavy creative lifting, writing hooks, shaping verses, and some say even contributing to major records like We Fly High.
From a few things that I'm saying, but you don't know the slam, like when you got locked up, you don't know the slander that I get. Cam, how the you let it go this way? From the same, like, what the how to go, da-da-da-da. I'm like, yo, I ain't see the yo, I ain't see this nigga be playing niggas nigga in and out of jail all the time, man. I ain't see this shit was gonna happen. Niggas be ready to take my head off about this shit.
Yeah, you ain't a prophet.
Yeah.
They want you to be about prophet.
Yeah, listen, man. And I listen, I'm first tell you, I missed out and I didn't see it because you was too much of my nigga and I didn't see the vision. And sometimes what it is, not even talking about you, because you turned out to be something else.
You still got me in though.
Oh no,
you did everything in your. You was like, look, go see, bro.
Yeah, but listen, we boomerang. We here now. We ain't even gonna get into.
I'm just saying, like that's how.
Right.
Even you acknowledge, like, still, like, damn, I got Jaja, I got this, I got Rel, I got. You know what I'm saying? You said, nah, boom.
But here's where the fallout began. According to Max, he never got proper credit or fair money. He said he was basically being used. He'd help craft the sound, help build the wave, and Jim would walk away with the checks, while Max left with almost nothing.
There were shows where Jones made serious money while Max was getting paid a few $100. Barely anything compared to what he contributed.
Max B coming home. Where we at with that? Are you able to get past that?
No. Now we get past now. We can get past that now. You want to get past it? Or you want to dive more into it? Or you want me to tweak it?
I want you to pass it at some point.
You want me to crash out?
I definitely don't want you to crash out because I don't want to crash out. Now, what I want for myself, I want for my brother.
I appreciate it.
You see what I'm saying? Because there's too much money out here, there's too much life out here, and I like to do the things that I like to do. Ain't nothing feel better than living right now.
You're right.
But this whole situation was never just about the money. It was about respect from day one. Max always said Jim never treated him like a real equal, even while he was carrying a huge chunk of the creative load behind the curtain. That tension kept building until Max finally dipped from Bird Gang for good. Once he walked away, he locked in with French Montana, and the two started dropping tracks that pushed right back at Jim Jones, loud, unapologetic, and crystal clear about who really helped build those records. They didn't sugarcoat a thing. Jim, meanwhile, insisted he never blocked Max's bag and that he was simply moving the way he was taught by his own OGs. But here's the part he never highlighted. He didn't hand Max his publishing back out of goodwill. Max had to sue him for it, and the court made Jim return it. That detail alone speaks volumes. Cam even touched on the situation, and he's always backed Max. Cam claimed Jim has a habit of trying to control people and grabbing credit for things he didn't fully create. He also admitted he originally planned to sign Max himself before Bird Gang scooped him. He just didn't realize Max's potential fast enough. That one moment changed everything. Still, Max and Cam stayed tight. So when Max came home, he linked up with Cam and Mace for that big interview. And the interesting part? They didn't bring up Jim at all. They kept the whole conversation rooted in Harlem memories, Max's time inside, and his plans now that he's free. But even with all the love Max got when he touched down, Jim Jones still couldn't keep it cool. Instead of showing maturity or even a little positivity, he hopped online throwing shade, clowning the celebration, acting like Max wasn't a major piece of Dipset history. His reaction basically exposed everything he tried to hide. Because the truth is simple. Max stepping back into the world brings up all the conversations Jim hoped would stay buried. Who really wrote what? Who built the sound? Who carried the wave? The minute Max walks free, all those questions flood right back. And Jim knows it. That's why his energy been shaky since the jump. Meanwhile, Max kept it calm. He didn't mention Jim once in that interview. No dirt, no petty shots, nothing. He focused on his story, his growth, and what's next. And that silence hit harder than any diss, because it showed Max moved on, while Jim clearly hasn't. Fans picked up on it immediately. Old clips, old interviews, old credits started resurfacing, and suddenly the internet remembered just how much Max contributed to the very image Jim built his career on. And that's where things get uncomfortable. Because a free Max means those conversations aren't fading away again. Max is leveling up, living life, focused on the future. Jim just looks stuck, replaying the same chapter. Then Cam dropped that line, the one that had social media exploding. He claimed Jim is still scared of Max B after all these years. He said it straight, no jokes, no hesitation, and instantly people started pulling old footage of Jim ducking questions or trying to brush off Max's name like it hit a nerve every single time. Cam didn't need to explain it. The history already did. Back when Max started shining for real, Jim wasn't ready for someone from his own crew to outshine him. And now that Max is home, that old pressure settles right back on his shoulders. But this isn't the same Max who went in. He's calmer, smarter, focused, and you can hear that maturity in every word he speaks. Jim, on the other hand, keeps trying to play it off like the situation is beneath him. But the tone, the timing, the little jabs, people see through all of it. Max coming home forces the truth back into the spotlight. Who built what? Who deserved what? Who held who back? And when someone like Cameron, who was in the room for all of it, says Jim has been nervous about Max for years, it hits on a whole different level. Max doesn't even have to move messy for the room to shift. His presence alone rattles the energy. And while Max isn't thinking about Jim at all, it's obvious Jim is still wrestling with something heavy. Recently, when Mace asked Jim if he could finally let go of the past, Jim flat out said no and refused to explain it. You could see it hit an old wound instantly. The comments went crazy after that. One person wrote, "Jim still got PTSD from Max wilding on WorldStar back in the day, clowning him nonstop, and even bringing that hotel situation up again. The internet never forgets." But another take went viral, saying, "Jim only talks like this because Max isn't in front of him. If they met in person, I prize they'd fix it. The love is still there. Jim is hurt by Max and Cam both, and he's not admitting it. He has to realize he hurt Max too. That's why he reacted that way. I think they could move forward." And that comment had the whole internet debating all night. So the real question is, do you think they can ever move past it? Or is the history too deep for things to go back to how they were before Max got locked up? This story runs deeper than most fans realize. And before you dip, make sure you subscribe to Drip Z, drop a comment, like the video, and share it if you're rocking with the content. And if you really mess with it, slap that hype this video button. It's free and helps the channel grow big time. Thank you.